Hi everyone, so today our top tips, we're going to talk about roses. So these are a fabulous lemon rose and the variety is called Momentum. So all roses, each shade of rose, each colour of rose has its own name. So if it's a particular shade or colour, maybe for bridal work and you're trying to order it in, rather than asking your supplier for a yellow rose or a lemon rose, you know, that way, look up the variety of it and order by its variety, and then at least you know what you're getting. So normally when your roses come in from your suppliers, presuming you're buying them in wholesale, they will come wrapped in plastic. So the first thing is remove the plastic from your flowers. To be honest, you should remove the plastic from all flowers. Flowers give off a gas called ethylene gas. Ethylene gas is a maturing or a ripening gas, and it's inclined to make the flowers mature faster and go old faster, and we obviously don't want that to happen. So when you remove the plastic, it allows the ethylene gas to escape and your flowers will last longer and obviously will stay fresher. The next thing I'd suggest doing is sometimes there's elastics or twines holding your bunch together. So with this one here, there's actually a twine and there's an elastic band, okay? So remove them, because especially if they're very tight on the stem, they can restrict the water getting up the stem. And when your flowers arrive in from to Holland, in our case, they've been out of water for up to 30 hours at this stage. So they really need to be hydrated. They're really badly hydrated here. And basically we need to bring them back to life. And what we need to make sure is that there's nothing at all restricting the water getting up the stem. The next thing I'd advise you to do is using a stem stripper. Now you can buy a stem stripper from our website, flowerschoolisland.com. They're very inexpensive and oh my god, they just make life so easy for you. So using your stem stripper, you can see the way you grip it in your hand. It removes the thorns and the leaves you see off your roses. And when I say remove the thorns, it just takes that severe point off the end of the point of the thorn. It doesn't actually remove it altogether. Plus, it doesn't damage the stem of the flower. And that's where some people use their scissors, you know, that way, and they open the blade of the scissors, and I'll just do it at the bottom of the stem, because I definitely don't want you to do this, and they kind of do that, and they're running the scissors up and down it there, trying to take the thorns off. You're scratching the stem, you're damaging the stem, you know, that way, and then any bacteria or any infection can get into the flower stem. So you can see there, it's quite easy, and now it's time you might have to kind of go over it twice, you know, that way. And as I said, it doesn't remove the thorn completely, but it just takes that severe point off it, okay? So that's your first thing first, is clean down all your stems, and then what I like to do is I like to get all the heads approximately the same height. Now when you're buying in roses, they come in multiples of 10s or 20s, that's if you're buying them wholesale. And sometimes, if it was a special offer, they could be in a larger quantity. So there's your stems nicely cleaned down. So your next thing what I would advise you to do is get a small sheet of brown paper. Like wrapping paper is absolutely fine. Typing paper would do the same job. Or even just a sheet of flower paper, not newspaper, because you don't want the print coming off on the newspaper. So a piece this length here is absolutely fine. And I'm just going to get my sellotape dispenser. Sorry for a second, if I go off the camera there. Here we go, we have our sellotape dispenser. So what I want to do is support the heads while they have their first drink. As I explained, they've been out of water for quite a long time. So with all the heads level, I'm now going to wrap them firmly, okay, in this sheet of brown paper, and I'm going to secure it with a little piece of sellotape, okay, just to hold it in place there. So what that does, it supports the flowers whilst they have their first drink. Now there's no need to leave this paper on indefinitely. 1 hour is absolutely fine. But another advantage of the paper wrapped around the flowers is it holds them back and it stops them blowing open. When I mean blowing open, you know, as the rose takes up the water, and especially if it's a warm room or the weather is quite warm, the rose will start to kind of blow and get bigger, bigger and bigger. Now for bridal work, we absolutely love that. And if it's in a flower arrangement, from a customer point of view, it's fantastic to see the roses blowing open. But maybe you have a wedding on at the weekend and the weather is very warm and maybe your roses are blowing too fast. So this is a preventative measure. You can actually delay your roses blowing by leaving the paper on them a little bit longer. But originally the whole plan of the paper is to support the flowers whilst they have their first drink. Now, a couple of other things to get ready. So have your vase or your bucket of water and clean water. And with all our buckets and vases, we sterilise them all with bleach. Now we do have a tutorial on our YouTube channel, which you'll find on our website. If you go to the blogs on the website, on preparing and getting buckets and vases ready for fresh flowers. So make sure you go over and watch that. So fill it up with clean water. The fresher the water the better, because there's more oxygen in it. Now I like to add flower food to the water. Now personally, I normally put the flower food in the end of the container before I fill it with water, and that way it gets dissolved. But for the class here, I just wanted to show you. So just have a sachet of flower food, add that to the water, okay? Just give it a little bit of a swish around there just to make sure it's dissolved. Now another thing that I like to do to the roses is to get rid of any airlocks that's in the stem. Now you never know if there is airlocks in your stem. You could chance your arm and hope for the best. Keep your fingers crossed, as we say here in Ireland. But when you're in a flower shop, we just do it anyway, just to make sure. So the old-fashioned way was using boiling water, and by the way, there's nothing wrong with using that method. But nowadays, we use a chemical called Quick Dip. In America, it's known as Magic Dip, just in case you're checking with your suppliers. And both the main companies out there, Smithers Oasis and Chrysler, they both have their own version of Quick Dip. So what is Quick Dip? I often say it's a Viagra for flowers. So using a small disposable cup, though you could use a ceramic cup if you prefer, what you're going to do is place about 2 or 3 centimetres in the end of your cup. Now that's why I like to use a smaller container. If you're using a larger container, to get 2 or 3 centimetres in the end, it's going to take up quite a lot. And this stuff is expensive, by the way. So you have your cup prepared, your Quick Dip prepared. And as I said, it's Viagra for flowers. It makes your flowers stand up straight. And there's lots of other flowers that you can use it for. It's absolutely fantastic for roses and germini to stop the heads going over. But if you're using the likes of peonies and hydrangeas or woody stemmed flowers, even viburnum, it's a fantastic chemical to hydrate the stems really, really fast. So normally what we do is we take off 1 inch, 2 centimetres off the end of all flowers. And when you're cutting your flowers, you cut them on a slant, on a 45-degree angle. So get into the habit with your scissors or your secateurs, it's cut straight, it's cut away from yourself rather than cutting towards yourself, less likely to cut your finger. My stems are different lengths here, so I am going back that little bit shorter to make sure that all the stems are cut at 45-degree angle, and I'm cutting, as you can see, 2 to 3 inches off some of them. So there's all our flowers cut. Now the reason why I have 2 or 3 centimetres in the end of the container is when I place the stems down in the Quick Dip for literally 1 second and back out again and immediately into the cold water, what has made sure is that all the stem, because they were cut on an angle, was submerged under the Quick Dip. So that's really, really important. Now you will be able to use that same Quick Dip for lots of other flowers, but what you will find after a while, it will start to kind of get discoloured or kind of dirty, so then it's time to throw it out. Do not pour it back into your bottle, because again, if there's any bacteria in it at all, it's going to pollute the rest of your clean bottle of Quick Dip. So give your flowers at least a minimum of 4 hours drink before you start cutting them or using them. Normally when they've come in from Holland, I like to leave them for a minimum of 8 to 12 hours, as long as possible. Like, it is a long time for them to be transporting, you know, the way from Holland through England all the way to Ireland. So leave them as long as possible. But as I said, the brown paper, that can be removed in an hour. And that at that stage then your roses will stand up straight, but also they'll start to blow. If you want to delay the blowing, place the paper back on, or what you could do is you could wrap the paper around half of the roses and leave half of them loose. Change your water every 3 to 5 days, especially in warm weather. By adding flower food, you do feed the flowers and you stop bacteria growing as well, but also it'll encourage your roses to blow open even more. So maybe if you want to hold the roses back, the next time you change the water, you could avoid adding flower food at that stage, and again that will prevent them blowing, or it'll slow them down maturing. If you have any questions or any comments, I would absolutely love to see them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this tutorial, maybe give it a share. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. And listen, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed my top tips on roses. My name is Janette and I'm from Kay's Flower School.